What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narcocop MMA. This is a breakdown for Dana White's Contender Series Week 9. 4 freaking fights only. Probably the shittiest card all year, man. I mean, this is one of those cards that I was contemplating to even do a video on, man. It's so bad. But I know a lot of people requested, a lot of people wanted the video. So I'm like, you know what? Why not do it the day of, a couple hours before? Let the people know what I think. And I honestly don't have very strong takes on this card. I do have a couple of bets already. But I'm honestly staying away from these money lines, man. They're very iffy. Feel like a couple of these matches are setup fights. It's just a weird card overall. Let me go over to chat and shout out my chat per usual. What is up, Dixon? I'm on the Silva sub as well. Yeah, I mean, he should grapple. We'll talk about that in a bit. You only have 2 bets. Yeah. As of now, yeah, I'm probably going to add a couple of props. I didn't put them on my Bet MMA, but I already bet them. We'll talk about them here on the show. I feel like this one's particularly dead on both props. See? James Adler knows, man. I'm on the same thing. Joe C., what is up, my man? Hit the like button. Thank you, bro. Lamar, what is up, my man? Thank you for joining us from Cape Town. What is up, my man? Thanks for joining all the way from over there. There will be blood. What is up, man? Hi, how are you doing? Shafiq, what is up, bro? Air Dog, what's up, homie? Eric the Red, could we use a good bet for Dana White's? Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough for this card. Let's get that back for sure. Bailey, what is up, man? Brazil wins tonight. Maybe. Ryan, what's up, bro? Saint Steven, go chicken thigh soup and grilled salmon. New channel, but love the content you make. Thanks a lot, Ricardo. Appreciate you for joining the channel. Hit the like, subscribe, guys. Please do me that favor. What is up, Derek? There will be a live space tonight on Twitter. So if anybody wants to join, let's fucking go. Andrew, who else we got in here? Mark Schellenberg. What is up? Christian, as usual, always in here. Thanks for joining. Christian White. What is up? Let's get that money. I think that's it. Mark, what is up, Mark? Thanks for joining. Let's make that money, my friend. Usman, what is up? Can you use your connections to get Bet Online to put up live lines for contenders? They won't do it. They won't do it. Even if I talk to Mason, they won't do it. Let's go watch Catching the Live. Congrats to you and your son on it. Oh, thank you, man. I was so damn happy. You got 2 golds in Gi and Nogi. This on later than usual because of 4 fights. Yeah, no, I just decided to do it kind of last minute. And T5, what's good, my man? Thanks for joining. I got Ruffy tonight. We'll talk about that. And with that being said, let's start off here, man. First fight of the night. It isn't a welterweight division. It is the 8-1 Mauricio Ruffy versus the 10-1 Raymond Magomedov. So first off, we're going to start off with the Ruffy side. You know, Ruffy's from Fighting Nerds, right? I personally really like that gym. We saw a couple of guys already from that gym get a contract on Dana White's Contender Series. They are a gym that, you know, most of the time, most of their fighters fight smart. They're athletic. They're well-rounded for the most part. You know, Kaio obviously is the main guy from that gym. I think they got a lot of up-and-comers. And, you know, when I watch Mauricio Ruffy, what do I like from this guy? I think he has a ton of power with his hands. You could see like all of his fights, you know, he's ending everything by KO, 8 wins by knockout. I don't think he's much of a grappler. He has pretty good takedown defense. I watched a Ronnie Torres fight, who's he's shooting a lot of takedowns with Torres. You know, he did get him down, but he worked his way right back up, this Ruffy. He doesn't settle. Manuel Sosa, who I'm very, very, very high on. This guy's a huge prospect in my eyes, Manuel Sosa. Super legit everywhere. Had a very tough time to get Ruffy down. You know, he got him down, but Ruffy popped right back up when he did. And you know, when you look at Raymond Magomedov, you know, he's a well-rounded fighter. He can strike, but his primary thing is to grapple, right? We saw that in the fight on Eagle FC versus Impa. And, you know, the fight he won by split, I rewatched that fight and kind of feel like Impa won that fight, to be honest. You know, this guy probably got a not hometown rubbing, but a promotion rubbing, because Eagle FC is, you know, it's their promotion, and This guy got a favorable decision, which I think he probably lost. Then you look at the Tyler McGuire fight on 1, and Tyler McGuire kind of winning the grappling there in round 3, gets him in full mount, very, very bad looks. The thing with this guy is he's been off for a year and a half. I understand he's the main sparring partner from Makhachev, but what does that really mean? The only thing that means is he's in the gym with them, right? But when you watch tape, right, he's 33 years old. He's been in the gym with them for a very long time. It's not like he's new to them. In the Impa fight, where do you see improvements from this guy? Like, I don't see any improvements. So who cares if he's Makhachev's main sparring partner? It's obviously not helping him. He probably regressed in that fight, if anything. I know Impa's good, but he was tired. He was losing grappling in some positions, and I just didn't like this guy striking much, So, the line currently we're looking at, let me go to the lines here. We're looking at anywhere from 200 on Caesars, minus 200 to about 220, 265 on Bet Rivers. Ruffy's minus 185. She's down to 164. I was really hoping this hit about plus 200. That's where I was going to attack Ruffy. I said to myself, if it gets to 200, I'm going to attack Ruffy. And it kind of didn't get there. I think he hits very hard. I think his takedown defense is pretty good. I do think both guys slow down, honestly. I think both guys have very iffy cardio. I think if Magomed wins, I think it's most likely a decision or maybe even 2-3 possible, because I do see Ruffy really, really huffing and puffing when fights extend a little. Even in the Ronnie Torres fight, yeah, he got a knockout, but Ronnie Torres was absolutely dead himself, So, you watch the Sosa fight, he kind of broke him and then finished him. And I don't know if Magomed can do it. That's why I'm saying decision, maybe 2-3. I just feel like this fight is pretty sketchy. I know they want Magomed to win, but he's a 33-year-old guy. Like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna, if this line hits 190 to 200, I'm taking Ruffy. I'm gonna take him. I think it's probably better to take him by KO, if you ask me. If anybody knows like KO props, what's on DraftKings, stuff like that, what's the KO prop on this guy? Because I think if he wins, it's knockout. I don't think he wins, and he's not winning a decision if this fight goes 3. I don't think so. Yeah, his knockout is 370 on FanDuel. I might play that, honestly. I might play his knockout. I think that's how he wins. That's how he wins every single fight. So plus 370. I think that's where I'm going to go with this, honestly. I'm going to take a shot at plus 370. Let's see what the chat thinks here. What do we got over here? Narco, did you see Caio Bahia guaranteeing? Yeah, but I mean, that's all talk. But, this guy hits hard. Joshua, what is up, my man? He's Islam's. Oh, yeah, I meant Islam. Yeah. Makhachev. Didn't I say that? Yeah. He is Islam's sparring partner. Yeah. It's his main sparring partner. That's what he said. I think I'm going to play under 2.5. That's actually not bad, honestly, in this fight. What's the price on the under 2.5? Because I don't see this fight going 3 rounds. Only way is Magomed like not doing anything on top, and it kind of goes 3 rounds, but should finish. I mean, this fight should finish based on stylistics, based on cardio dynamic. But that's the thing. That's the only thing that I'm afraid of. I don't know who really has the better car. Both guys kind of gas. And that's the issue in this, fight finishing. If both guys are gassed, they could look really, really fucking sloppy. Then Monkey, what is up, my man? What else we got here? Train and Trade says, feels like it's gonna take a fighting nerd at this price. Oh, you got 205. I would take it. I would take 205 on Bet360. All right, KO1 is 800. Yeah, it's 370. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I think that's probably his best round, and the round that he most likely gets him out of there is round 1. So 800, little sprinkle if you want. It's not bad. I think this guy hits extremely hard. And yeah, he can definitely get a knockout. I mean, he hits hard, plain and simple. He's busting guys up like crazy. And on top of it, you know, when you look at Ronnie's Torres, the last guy he fought, the guy has 51 wins, guys. That was the only second time he's ever been knocked out. And he's fought really, really, really good fighters. This Ronnie's Torres guy. He's not no slouch. He's not a bum. He's fought very good fighters in Russia. And he's only been finished one knockout before. So that tells you in 51 fights, he only was knocked out one time. That tells you how much power Ruffy has, honestly. He was busting him up bad in that fight. That's the thing. I looked at that too, but I'm telling you that I feel like this fight probably finishes like maybe Ruffy's. We've never seen him in round 3. We don't know. He might be dead, you know, in round 3. And the way he throws, you know, he puts so much into his punches. It's probably a guy that gasses, you know. Perhaps won the live bet. Yeah. Very true. See who's more gas and live bet it. Yeah, very accurate. So, yeah, let's move on here. That's enough about that fight. But it's that's what I'm saying with this card, man. I don't know. Fight number 2. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 7-0 Magomed Gadzhiyassilov versus the 11-2 Jose Daniel Medina. I don't even want to break this fight down, man. This is a setup fight, guys. This is one of the biggest setup fights I've ever seen on Dana White's Contender Series, and it's all for Magomed. He's from Bahrain. We're seeing a lot of these guys from Bahrain being put on Dana White's Contender Series, trying to be, you know, put in the UFC, and all of these guys have a very similar thing behind them. They're from this KHK MMA team, which I think is owned by like the Prince of Bahrain or whatever. And I don't know if he's investing in the UFC or he's pumping money into the UFC, but we're just seeing a lot of these Bahrain guys popping up, and they're technically not from Bahrain. They're probably from Dagestan, Russia. They're going to live in Bahrain. They're getting paid good money to train and fight there. And so I don't know, man. This guy, this is a terrible. I mean, this Jose Daniel Medina, man. This guy cannot get a win in the LFA, in my opinion. He cannot get a win on CFFC or Fury, maybe even. Honestly, this guy is god awful. He is seriously god awful, and I'm saying that in possibly the nicest way I could. I mean, this guy is very, very bad. And honestly, when I first taped Magomed, I didn't even tape his opponent. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to fade this guy. Hopefully his opponent is pretty good. And I go and tape his opponent. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't bet this guy. There's no chance. So what I did end up with is the under 1.5, minus 125. Magomed is going to finish this guy, man. This guy is awful, awful, awful. I don't even think he's durable either. He's getting rocked by these terrible fighters. This Filio guy last time out, like 4-4 guy, probably should have finished him, very close to finishing him. He's fighting these regional bums. He got finished by a guy that's 18-16, 45-year-old guy now. Like, you know, he fought him. This guy, he fought him when he was 40 years old, and he finished him in round 1. Like, dude, this guy's bad. There's nothing else to say. I'm not impressed with Magomed. I think he has okay striking, okay grappling. I'm not impressed with the guy either. It's just, this is a setup fight, guys. There's nothing else to say about this fight. It's a setup fight. Do not touch Medina. He is awful. Awful. He's not even regional level, honest to God. He's not. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Club. There's not much difference between 180 and 200. Yeah, but when you set a percentage on a fight, there is a difference. I'm betting a guy on a certain, you know, percentage of his win equity. Like if I think this guy wins, let's just say I think he wins 1 out of 3 times, right? Well, then I need plus 200, right? If you're looking at 180, it gets to like, you know, his implied odds. Now he needs to win a little more than 1 out of 3 times, right? So it's all a number game. I know there's not a huge difference. It's just a number that I had in my head. I said, you know, this guy probably wins 1 out of 3 times here, you know, knocks him out. So that's the number I went with. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. You know, Middle Eastern, we're going to pronounce them right. I mean, I have to. I would look like an idiot. Dagestani is getting set up fights. Never. Okay. You don't think this is a setup fight, James? Then go bet the Medina guy, man. Go bet this Medina guy. This Magomed guy is a can crusher. Some really, yes, I agree. But just, you know, physically watching the tape, he's way more skilled than Medina. He's just way more skilled everywhere. It's not even close. That's the difference. I mean, you're absolutely right about him fighting cans and setups and all these weird organizations. Like he's hugging the guy after he finishes them. It's like, I don't know. It is weird, but you see Magomed's last fight went to decision with Lindless guy. Yeah, I mean, he's not very good. I'm telling you. This Magomed guy is not very good. I can't wait to fade this guy. He's going to be 8-0, shiny. Hopefully he gets a finish here, like I said. But yeah, you know, no, the last guy he fought, wait. Winless guy. No, Ronnie, you're mistaken. The last guy that he went to decision with was not a winless guy. Yeah, he's 12-5. Mohammed Said, he's actually a decent fighter. He's way better than Medina. The last guy he fought is 10 times better than Medina, literally 10. So, I mean, this line's honestly accurate. I'll be honest with you guys. Could he win by sub, much longer odds? Yeah. I think he can win both ways, most likely KO, honestly. But yeah, I mean, he can win whatever way he wants to win here, be honest. What is up, Lou Betcha? Thank you for joining. Activist says, if Torres keeps the standing, what do you think about his decision play? Torres? I'm very confused. Who's Torres? Are you talking about oh, you're talking about the next fight? I haven't talked about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, Medina's just not good. Not good, man. I wouldn't put one penny on this guy. Not one. He's that bad. I think the under is good, man. Under 1.5 is good here. I think he's going to get finished. Moving on. Fight number 3. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 16-1 Eduardo Mateus Torres versus the 23-4 Victor Hugo Silva. And, you know, both these guys, a lot of experience, man, coming into the Contender Series. You don't see that normally. You know, Mateus Torres, Cyborg is his name. He fights like a cyborg. I mean, 17 pro fights, 16-1. Lost to the former UFC guy, Nolan Hernandez. You know, a guy that's kind of going to come forward. He's tough. He's extremely durable. He's from Chile. He's got good cardio. Very, very good knees in the clinch. He's got a lot of like body kicks / knees / stuff like that. Like extremely dangerous with those kind of strikes. You know, he's got some power in his hands. He's not the most polished striker, but I think he throws decent volume. I think he has pop in his hands. I think he's not a one-punch power type of guy, but he's a guy that continues to throw, continues to land, and eventually breaks a lot of his opponents. And when you look, it's accurate to what I'm telling you. You know, round 4 stoppage, round 3 stoppage, round 3 stoppage, round 2 stoppage, submission to strikes, you know, body kick to ground strikes, blah, blah, blah. You know, so this guy, he puts it on people with volume, not so much power, but he keeps coming, right? And he's extremely durable and tough. You watched Nolan Hernandez. I mean, Nolan Hernandez is not a very, very good fighter, but he was landing at will on this guy, you know, landing a bunch on him on the feet. He also landed his own strikes on Nolan, but, you know, you watch some of these other fights, Gaston Mansour, you know, that guy's trying to grapple him, and this guy keeps landing on him, and eventually just busts him up really bad. I mean, his eye was like fucking huge and eventually stopped him. He couldn't take any more punishment. You know, he's got a decent win over this Rodrigo Vera guy, who's also a Peruvian fighter. He's 15-1-1. That was his only loss. I think that guy's actually pretty good, honestly, when I watched him. He was trying to grapple in that fight, Vera was, and, you know, he got a couple of takedowns, but, you know, Mateus, he tends to pop back up, man. It's not easy to hold this guy down. And now he's fighting a guy in Victor Hugo Silva, who I think is extremely skilled. You know, this guy has a ton of power in his hands. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got decent wrestling. I mean, he's got a pretty good all-around game. He comes from a good fight team, an Astro fight team. They've got very good fighters over there. You know, lot of good Brazilians on that team. And you know, this is the guy that has not lost in 9 years. You know, this guy, you know, he's got a ton of fights. Very experienced. Lost to Maki Linares, and it was a rib injury. It wasn't even like one of those, you know, losses. And you know, looking at his wins of late, you know, he's got some decent wins as well. You know, not the best level, but not bad at all. And I think he's faced probably the better opposition. This is a guy that fucking throws extremely hard. He's fought as high as 170, which is insane. You know, he won by leg injury. I couldn't find that fight against Sanjar. But man, to fight at 170 for this guy, it's insane. And when I watched that Wiedeson Costa fight, this Wiedeson, they fought at 165 on that fight. This Wiedeson Costa looked like he was 4 weight classes bigger than this guy. And I'm like, what the heck is he doing in this fight? And I see him getting takedowns. I see him doing all this. And then I see him absolutely put out Wiedeson Costa with one overhand right. So this guy has fucking legit power, man. Like a lot of power in his hands. I watched the Douglas Felipe fight on his Instagram, and bro, he dropped this guy like 3-4 times, and somehow this guy survived. It went to decision. This guy has very good submissions, heel hooks, arm triangles. You could see like he attacks submissions too. And I think that's probably his best path here, man. Get this fight to the ground. You're the better submission artist. You're the better grappler, in my opinion. I did play a plus 500 sub prop on him. I think you could still get like 470 area on his sub. He's just a better submission grappler for me. This guy has a ton of experience. You can get 460 right now on FanDuel. I think that's not bad. He can knock him out as well. Let's not kid ourselves. But the thing is with Torres, I've never actually seen this guy like visibly like rocked and hurt. He just seems like those fucking tough South American guys that you cannot get out of there unless you like choke him out. And I think that probably is the case here where, you know, he might get a submission. I'm not very like hugely confident in it just because both guys extremely durable. I can see this fight hitting the scorecards, honestly, because I just see two very durable guys. I even see a lot of durability in Hugo too. So if I was to take a late round prop, I'd probably take it on Torres round 3. I don't know what the price is again. I haven't played it, but I'm thinking of playing that because I do think Torres is one of those guys that eventually gets to you late. You know, if you let the fight keep on going, he's going to eventually get to you late. And it's plus 1,500, I see. Yeah, I might take a shot on Torres round 3 only. I don't think he's going to finish Hugo round 2 if he does. So round 3 plus 1,500 and the sub prop maybe on Hugo here. I don't want to touch this fight from money line. I think it's about accurate. What are we looking at here on the money line, guys? We're looking at, yeah, minus 130, plus 110, minus 142. I mean, listen, Hugo Silva's the better fighter to me, MMA fighter. He's the more skilled fighter. Toughness, durability, and all that other stuff, I think is on the Torres side. So intangibles, I think are on the Torres side. The skill set is on the Hugo Silva side. So that's the thing here. That's why I think this fight is lined where it is, and it's it's probably the best fight of the card, in my opinion, and by miles. 155 of you in here. Double fucking fist bump. Thank you very much. Hit that like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Really appreciate it. Late to the party, says Laguna. You're never late, bro. You're on time. My bad. Activate. Laguna, did you pick Ruffy or the favorite? I think Ruffy at plus 200 is good if you can get it. And I think Bet365, someone said, had it. Medina was so pumped at the weigh-ins. Yeah, I mean, Medina, he is something else, bro. He's a bad fighter, man. That's the only thing he's going to be good at is being pumped up at the weigh-ins. So if you dig deep, you can find winners. What is he talking about? Oh, Champions League. Okay, never mind. We're not talking about that. I like what I saw from Silva, and this guy's game as fuck, fighting at bigger weight class and still, yeah, I like that part. But man, this dude he's fighting is a dog, man. He's a fucking dog. So I hate betting against those guys. Can't see the Chilean get knocked out. Yeah. I mean, he could. Anybody can get knocked out. I don't think he will, honestly. I don't think he will. Maybe sub. Maybe sub, guys. All right. Let's move on. Main event. Light heavyweight division. 10-2 Rodolfo Bellato versus the 6-0 Murtaza Talha. I don't have a bet on this fight. I want to poke at 2-3 on Bellato. I just think, well, not think, for a fact, I know he's gone later in fights. You know, this guy's only been 3 minutes, 2 minutes into round 2 in his pro career. He's never been to the round 3. He finishes everybody early. You know, these guys all have nice, shiny records, but they're not really good fighters, honestly. Talha is a pretty good. He looks very strong in the grappling. I'll say that right now. He looks very, very strong in the grappling. I think that's where he's going to have a big edge here, even though Bellato is the more like credentialed BJJ guy. I do think wrestling wise, it's going to be all Talha, man. He looks very, very strong. He gets back takes pretty good. Like this guy is very, very strong. But on the feet, honestly, think Bellato has a little bit of an edge here, man. I don't like how Murtaza throws his punches. He's not technical at all. He's throwing like weird overhands, even tomahawk chop in the Litvin fight, which was extremely funny to see. When you watch Kirill last fight, like he's kind of kicking him early. You know, you could see Talha doesn't like it. He doesn't know how to close the distance. And, you know, this guy, he's first, second of all, actually, first of all, before anything, this guy is extremely undersized for light heavyweight, guys. This guy's not a light heavyweight. I don't give a shit what it says. Last fight was at 195. He's fought at light heavyweight. Obviously, I could see a lot of his fights, but he's also fought a lot of catch weights. So what that tells me is this guy might be in between that 85 to 205 division. He can't really make 85, but 205 is he's too small. You could see he weighed in at only 203.5. And I don't even know if he cut weight for this. You know, this guy is not a light heavyweight. I will say that right now. He's probably a middleweight. He needs to probably work on his conditioning. I don't know how much running or how much, but again, here's this popping up KHK MMA team from Bahrain. Another guy that's probably originally from Russia, now fighting in, Bahrain under this team. And this guy's a credentialed amateur career, never lost, 11, 12-0, whatever in amateurs, IMMAF, world champion, European champion, whatever, everywhere, But when I watch his tape, honestly, like I'm not coming out impressed with this guy. I really am not. I think he slows down a bit. I don't think he has the best cardio. His striking's not very good, but what he is good at is he's a strong grappler. He's a very, very strong guy. People are initiating grappling against this guy, and guess what happens? He ends up on top. He takes them down. He really isn't a proactive grappler himself. Most of the time, it's his opponents initiating the grappling, and then he in turn is reversing it on them and getting them down, and then they're in trouble. I mean, his ground and pound is nasty. Like I said, his submission game is pretty damn good. I don't even know what belt this guy is, but he's got a good submission game. And his opponent, right, Rodolfo Bellato, like he looks in probably the best shape he's ever looked, to be honest. He's going to be the bigger guy, obviously. But there's a lot of concerns with this guy. I mean, when you watch that Ocasio dos Santos fight and, Bellato's on bottom for almost the whole second round, it's a big concern. I mean, Ocasio dos Santos is not a strong grappler. He's mostly a striker. He looked like shit in that fight. He won, I guess, 29-28, but not a great look. Petrino fight, I think he looked pretty good. Like he dropped Petrino, right? But then he got iced in round 2. So this guy is very hittable. His grappling is kind of suspect, honestly. He's got good submissions. But when I say grappling, I mean his wrestling. It's suspect. And to me, he needs to keep this fight on the feet. if he engages in the grappling with Murtaza, I think he's going to get ragdolled. I just think Murtaza is going to be way stronger than him. He's going to put him on bottom, and he's going to absolutely fucking put it on him if he's on bottom. He's going to throw big ground and pound. Bellato might be able to get something off bottom. I don't know. Maybe go for a leg lock. Maybe go for a triangle. I don't know. But, this line right now is sitting at, minus 250, 275, 280. It's been ballooning up here. It was at 230, and people have hit Murtaza pretty hard. Actually, it's 240 on Bet Online. I don't know how to play this fight, honestly. I don't want to lay 240 on Murtaza because I have a question with his cardio. He doesn't really proactively grapple unless his opponents do. I do think this is another setup fight, to be honest. They're bringing back Bellato, who got knocked out on Dana White's Contender Series before. Not really an exciting fighter. Doesn't really do anything like fucking wow. So I kind of feel like, again, they're setting up Murtaza for the win. And that's two fighters on this card that I think they're setting up for a win. Now, it doesn't always work out, guys. But, if I'm to pick the winner here, I do think Murtaza probably finishes Bellato with ground and pound. Something that I did take here, a small pop on. I think I took KO. Let me see here. Murtaza. I think I took his KO prop at, I don't know where I took it, to be honest. I took it somewhere. I'm pretty sure I took his KO prop on Murtaza. It was, it's plus 130 on FanDuel. It was 125. That's where I took it. On FanDuel, it's plus 130 now. I don't know if he's going to sub Bellato, honestly. I don't like Bellato's pretty good defensively. He's a grappler himself. He's got good submissions, probably very good sub defense. I think it's going to be a ground and pound knockout, maybe even on the feet. He can ice him. But yeah, I think it's more likely going to be a knockout. It's plus 130. I think that's how I would maybe attack Murtaza here. If you like him, and then maybe take some late round props on Bellato. Take a shot. I mean, he doesn't have the best cardio either, but he's the guy that's just been there more than this other guy, right? He's been to decision. We saw it last time out. He won round 3. He pulled it through, even though he didn't look great, but he won round 3. And we haven't seen that from Talha yet. He's never been 3 rounds. He's never been 2.5 rounds. So a round and a half, I mean. So, yeah, I'm going to take probably a shot, round 3, Bellato. Why not? That's how I'm going to play this one and take the KO prop on Murtaza, where I probably think he's going to ground and pound and get this guy out of there. Over unders, it's like 1.5. Yeah, it could end, but it also could. I could see a world where it goes over. So not really playing any of those. Look at Murtaza round 1 is plus 115. Like, it's like not something I'm looking to play. But yeah, that's all 4 fights, guys. Nothing I really love on this. No money lines am I playing. I don't love anything over here. Narco, do you approve of a 4-leg parlay and all fights and inside the distance? Not really. I'm a little afraid with the Torres Silva fight, honestly. If I'm to be honest, I think that's the fight where you have to be scared that the fight extends and probably goes distance, because both guys are super, super tough. So, I mean, both guys are finishers, but they're also very, very tough. So I hate picking props against guys like that. I really do. Trying to get them to get knocked out, and these guys don't get knocked out, So if you took fight doesn't go on Murtaza fight, right? Minus, I don't know, what is it on these other books? Hold on. So let's go with that one, right? It's actually only minus 400. Doesn't go on Bet Online, which is the best price by far. So you take that, and then you take the fight doesn't go in the Medina fight, which I don't think that's going to go anywhere near it. And then you take the Ruffy Magomedov, which I don't think is going decision either. So 200, 500, 400. And yeah, just take those three, I think. I think those three and inside the distance. I think that's what I'll probably play a parlay there, honestly, with those three. Since you mentioned it, I think those three probably come through. All three fights ends inside the distance. They'll probably give you plus money there, right? Am I mistaken? Let's see here. Would it give you plus money, guys? Anybody let me know? All three of those fights, Murtaza fight, Medina fight, and the Ruffy fight, all inside the distance. What does that give you? I think that's a pretty good parlay. I think those three and inside the distance for me. Yeah, that's it, guys. I like Silva and Ruffy, sprinkling Bellato. All right, let's see what else we have. Yep, thank you, Piazzo, for joining, my friend. EQ, I'm confused. I'm picking Torres. I'm confused just as much as you are. So that's why that means stay away. Narco, you're going to do a Bellator breakdown. No Bellator breakdown. I'm going to be at the card. I'm going to the Bellator 300 card. I got front row seats. Me and my cousin, I will be at the card for Bellator 300. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you. Hit the like. Yeah, listen to Nevro. Thank you, bro, for joining. Has the Bolivian already fought? How do you see him in for today's fight? I see him getting killed and smashed. Yeah, 116 on FanDuel. There you go. Run with it. Run it. Oh, plus 110 on 365. That's even better. Take it. I think that's the inside the distance parlay. I think that's pretty good. You take those three. I don't see all three fights going hitting the scorecards. I don't. Maybe Magomed fight, but I don't see it, honestly, because it's going to be kill or be killed for Ruffy. He's either going to kill him or he's going to die trying, so yep. That's it, guys. All four fights broken down. Appreciate all of you. 170 of you in here. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you do want to support the channel, I don't have monetization yet. I got to reapply because apparently someone told on me for nothing. I didn't even do anything wrong. But my merch store is down below. If you want to support the channel, that's how you could support me for now. And appreciate each and every one of you. I will be back to do there's no Lambo Plays podcast on Friday. I'm going to do it early. I'm going to do it late on Thursday this time because I'm going to be out of town come Friday. I'm going to San Diego for the Bellator card. So Lambo Plays on Thursday night, and then no live spaces, probably. Maybe live spaces I can't actually. I'm going to be at the Bellator card. So no live spaces for UFC this weekend. It will be back the following weekend. I know everybody loves the live spaces. We crushed the live bets, but thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like, subscribe on the way out. Thank you to each and every one of you. And let's cash those